great players, they have a great organization, and you tell them one thing.
Quarterback that you know can get you a ball. Do you want to come back and be a Raider again next year?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, I came here, I wouldn't have been here or ended up here originally probably, if Derek wasn't here, but it doesn't necessarily mean that I won't be here, in the event that he's not here. My dream was to play for this team before he was a Raider, obviously, and at this point I want to, obviously try to make this thing work and continue on doing what I'm doing here.
The Las Vegas Raiders superstar wide receiver Devante Adams has put to rest any type of narrative that he will demand a trade after the news that quarterback Derek Carr will no longer continue at the quarterback position for the Raiders moving forward. This also discards any theory that the Raiders will start a complete rebuild for this franchise. At the end of the day, as Devante Adams stated, I wanted to be a Raider even before Derek got here. And you have to think about it. Why would Devante Adams lead the team that he grew up loving his whole childhood? Remember, there's a picture of him as a young kid wearing an Oakland Raiders Charles Woodson jersey in his yearbook for his school that stated that he wanted to become an NFL star. He's one of the highest paid receivers in the whole league. He gets to live closer to his family living in Las Vegas. Not only that, he gets to live in a state with no income tax, gets to experience the full Las Vegas lifestyle, and he's coming off of a dominant individual performance this season in an offense that is tailored towards him. Adams for the year currently sits at about 95 receptions, 1,443 yards, and 14 touchdowns. A very dominant performance despite Derek Carr having arguably one of his worst seasons of his career. Not only that, even without Derek Carr, this last Sunday with Jarrett Stidham as a starter, Devante Adams still had an absolute dominant performance with 7 receptions, 153 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And look, I understand Josh McDaniels has not been perfect this season. Also got to give him some credit for the fact that he has been able to get his stars on offense heavily involved this season, with Josh Jacobs having a career year under McDaniels and with Adams still having an absolute dominant season. And I also don't think that this locker room is split or that they have quit on Coach McDaniels due to the Raiders moving on from Derek Carr, because if that were the case, I definitely think Adams would have sided with Derek Carr and demanded to move on from the Raiders. Of course, Devante Adams, as he has stated, he will always support his friend Derek Carr, but at the end of the day, this was a business move, and I really feel like Adams understood that, and he's still willing to continue with the Raiders. Devante Adams just stated that he wanted to be kept in the loop on who the Raiders will bring in at the quarterback position next season, and of course they are going to do that. So with this commitment from Devante Adams, with the Raiders set with a load of weapons on offense, whoever we bring in at the quarterback spot next season, I think will just be put in a position to succeed with reliable and dynamic playmakers like Devante Adams, Darren Waller, Hunter Renfrow, a solid O-line which allowed 0 sacks last week and were a huge factor in our run game being so effective this year with Josh Jacobs. So my point is, I think any veteran quarterback on the free agent market will definitely see the Raiders as a very attractive destination this offseason, whether it's Tom Brady, Jimmy G, Gardner Minshew, whoever you think could be a possibility for the Raiders in the future, or even if quarterback Jarrett Stidham proves himself into being the starter next season, which after the way he looked on Sunday, with him being so familiar with this offense, with him being young, mobile, I think that would be the best case scenario if Jarrett Stidham could end up being that guy for the Raiders, if he could end up being quarterback 1, but it's still too early to determine that. But either way, I think the way this team is built on offense, we don't necessarily need a guy to perform like the next Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, a prime Tom Brady, etc. We have a dominant run game, so we don't need someone to come in here and throw the ball 40 times a game. We really just need somebody on a team-friendly deal who is familiar with this offense and who can be reliable and consistent on the offensive side of the football. Now, of course, the Raiders still need to improve on the defensive side of the football, but with us potentially getting cheaper at the quarterback position this offseason, I think this puts us in a perfect situation to invest more money on that side of the football, especially if quarterback Jarrett Stidham ends up winning the job for the Raiders. If he can continue to perform anywhere near like he did last week against the 49ers, you should be able to get Jarrett Stidham on a very cheap contract. He's only getting paid a little bit less than $1 million this season, but his contract is up this offseason, so we will have to negotiate a new contract with Jarrett Stidham, but I still don't see him getting paid anywhere near top tier quarterback money. I honestly don't think he'll get anything more than like $10 million per year, but it's still a little bit too early for me to predict exactly what his contract will be. But the point is, if you can get Jarrett Stidham, if he can be that guy, if he can be quarterback one, show that he can be a good system quarterback for our team, I think that would be the ideal situation. You can get him at a very cheap price, and that'll help you be able to invest more money to fill out this roster, to fill out these holes on this team. So I'm definitely pulling for Jarrett Stidham. We'll just have to see how he plays next week against Kansas City. But regardless, it's still too early to determine who will be the Raiders starting quarterback next season. But all I know is that whoever it will be, they will be put in a position to succeed with great weapons on offense, and I trust in our front office and general manager Dave Ziegler and Champ Kelly to build us a competitive roster through free agency and the draft on the defensive side of the football. To wrap up this video, Devante Adams is a Raider. He is here to stay, and I absolutely love it. Let me know in the comment section down below, what do you guys think about the Devante Adams news? And anybody that is new to the channel and you guys love Raiders related content like this, make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. With that being said, I will see you guys in the next one.